I realized earlier this week that I've never told you the secret of mermaid soap. Now, mermaid soap is basically something that started in a time of desperation, and it's probably something that I think a lot of parents can relate to, which is why I'm sharing it with you. It's also a tool that I think could be related to a lot of different situations and scenarios that are totally different from the way that we have used it. Here is the story, and here is how we used it with Maggie. Basically, Maggie had super dry lips. Actually, she does have super dry lips every single winter, and it's really hard to keep her hydrated. It's really hard to keep her lips from getting chapped. And when they do get chapped, she has a tendency to pick at them, and then they start bleeding, and it's just bad. And regular chapstick doesn't cut it, and when there is regular chapstick, she tends to want to eat it because she just does. And so we've struggled with what to do to keep her lips from looking like bloody messes all winter long and from just being totally chapped and bloody. When Patch was tiny, his allergist recommended a strange concoction. And his strange concoction was a mixture that weirds a lot of people out, I know, but it really worked. And it was for his eczema at the time. It was half Crisco and half Vaseline. You just take it, put it together. I generally put it back into the container. Well, usually I would put half in the Crisco container and half in the Vaseline container, mixed together, and it works really well. When Patrick was small and he had very bad eczema from his milk allergy, and his skin was healing as we eliminated dairy, we used this twice a day, every single day, and we had used everything. We'd used every expensive Aveeno product. We had used every eczema over-the-counter cure that they had, and nothing even began to help. And so I was really skeptical when he said Crisco and Vaseline. I was just kind of like, yeah, okay, I mean, I'll do anything. I'm here and I'm gonna follow the doctor's advice. And so I did. And within a week, he had the most beautiful baby skin you've ever seen in your life. And so that was when we started using this on basically any of our kids who had dry skin or eczema. If they started having an itchy, dry spot, we would put this on them. And we had tried coconut oil, because people always say coconut oil. Of course we tried that. We had tried everything. We tried every suggestion for eczema. When Maggie's lips started bleeding, I thought of this, and I wanted to put it on her. Well, she is sensory seeking in a lot of ways. She's sensory seeking proprioceptive, vestibular, sensory seeking. She is not sensory seeking in terms of touch. She is definitely sensory avoiding for touch. And that was a problem. She did not like the idea of me putting anything on her lips, and so it was a struggle. I wasn't quite sure what to do, because obviously I needed to be putting something on her lips to stop them from bleeding and just to make them feel better, and she was not on board with that. One day I came up with an idea, and I don't remember how the idea came about, but basically I told her that this was for mermaids. And she looked at it and she called it mermaid soap. So, because I know I didn't name it mermaid soap, so I know it must have been her that named it mermaid soap, but I told her that it was for mermaids. She called it mermaid soap, and the name stuck. She kept calling it mermaid soap. And so it became a little bit less of a struggle. Once it was mermaid soap, then it was better, but still not great. And then we came up with a little thing we would say when we put it on. So every time I put it on, every morning and every night, and every time I would go to put it on her, I would say, mermaid soap for mermaid words for mermaid songs, so you can speak to humans. Because let's face it, in Maggie's mind, Maggie is a mermaid, and everybody else is humans, except for maybe Tessie. Tessie's a mermaid too. And as soon as she heard that, she loved it. And now if she's walking out of the room and I say mermaid soap, she stops and turns around and comes back and stands there. And if I say mermaid soap for mermaid, she'll say words, and I'll say mermaid songs, so you can speak to, and she'll say humans, because it's one of her favorite things. She loves the idea that this is her mermaid soap. I also liked putting the idea out there that this was something that helps her speak and use words, so that she can have her little imaginary, everything is mermaid, everything is swimming and water, and she's coming up with all these different imaginary things that she always says, because she'll like pick up a brush and she'll be like water brush, or she might pick up a spoon and say water spoon. She's just always coming up with ways to make different things mermaid things when they aren't. She really likes the idea of this being a mermaid thing, but I also like the idea of throwing in that extra little bit of confidence that it helps her find words. I mean maybe that's not entirely untrue. It's got to be hard to talk when your mouth is bleeding and hurting all the time, especially when you have a hard time talking anyways. If nothing else, just having your mouth hurt that much has to be distracting to her when she's trying to learn. So that is the story of Mermaid Soap. And sort of my takeaway from this has been, if there's something that you have to do, especially if it's something that isn't super unpleasant, but it's something that's unfamiliar, that you can make into the routine in a fun way by adding it somehow as one of your child's favorite things. Like if they're into dinosaurs, make it a dinosaur thing, or if they're into rail cars or something, make it somehow related to what they love. And that's one way that we've been a lot more successful at introducing new ideas and new routines into her schedule, because she's a lot more excited about doing something that's mermaid related than she is about putting on Vaseline onto her lips when they hurt, because that's new and that's icky and someone's touching my face and ow. But putting on mermaid soap is kind of amazing and magical, and it makes her feel better, and she gave it a chance long enough to realize that it made her feel better. So that is it for today. If you like this video, I would love it if you'd give it a thumbs up, and if you're interested in all things autism, we'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.